All right. Hey there, Danielle Matthews here. I am a post-traumatic growth specialist and absolutely love helping people turn their pain into their passion. And you're joining us for book club. So on Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time, we jump on here, live on Facebook, live on Instagram, and are discussing right now Wayne Dyer's The Power of Intention. Now, hey Peg, I know several of you over there on Instagram, I can see, hey Carol, hey Peg, have been joining us week to week, and I'm really excited. This book keeps getting better and better, and good morning, Peg. It's so funny. I'm in Iceland right now, and I kept like converting the time, making sure I wasn't screwing this up. So it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me. And if you can see on Facebook, can you guys see out that window? I'll show you guys first. It's just gorgeous. It's kind of hard to see, but Instagram, I'm going to move you over here, let you guys take a look. That's where I am. Middle of nowhere, Iceland, and it's beautiful. So let me get situated there. Okay. All right, I don't have my normal setup, so I had to figure this out. Hopefully it's okay. I think I can see both chats well enough. I had a couple people say they couldn't make this week, just timing wasn't working, but they shared with me something, and I want to ask those of you that are on and the timing is working. I want to ask you, I know, Peg, it's gorgeous. Reminds me of Colorado, actually. How did practice go implementing what we talked about? Hey, Christy. How did it go implementing what we talked about last week? The trolley strap was what I know I had said I would implement. And so I'll just, while you guys are typing, I will just share. You know, I got to Orlando Airport on Friday afternoon when I was supposed to fly out to Iceland, and I have never seen it so incredibly packed, like in my terminal. So I get to my gate, and you know, it said like request a seat. So I went to the gate agent. Now there was like 20 people already lined up to talk to this gate agent. So I'm standing in line, and the women in front of me are just like, I can see them like heating one another up, like getting so angry and how like, this is ridiculous. They should have a seat and blah, blah, blah. But they not have a seat. They paid for a seat. And basically Delta had overbooked this flight by like 25 seats. Okay. So that's the situation we're all looking at. And they start trying to convince people to give up their seat. So, and the number kept going up. So eventually they were offering like $1,000 for people to give away their seat. So that the 25 of us that had also paid for a seat but didn't have one assigned, you know, could get on the plane. And I like being around these women that were getting angry, and like everybody's disgruntled, right? And it's just, and the gate agent was just, you know, not happy with her job, and she was not helpful. And I looked down, and there was this little baby in a stroller, like bright-eyed and so happy, just like staring at me, smiling. And I was like, that's it. Like, that's intention. Like, that is just living in the present moment, so happy with like full faith. Like, this baby didn't know to be stressed out that it wasn't maybe getting out on the plane. The baby was just like, life is good. And so I just looked at that baby and I said, thank you. And I was like, where's my trolley strap? I'm just gonna hold it. And I'm visualizing myself in New York. I'm visualizing myself on a plane to Iceland. And I just sat still and I held that energy. And I kid you not, when they started to call names of people that got seat assignments, I was the first name called. And I was like, of course. and I got there. So that was my example this week of having to hang on to that trolley strap. And it was interesting. Oh, what did you say here? You bought the book on Audible. Didn't see where it talked about the analogy. Oh, it's in the first chapter. When I arrived in Iceland, I will also say this. I arrived, I had gotten a rental car, and it was called Ad Car, rental car. So I go to where the rental cars are in the airport, and it's like not listed. So I'm like, okay, it's one of these off-site rentals, right? So I'm like, all right, let me figure out this off-site rental situation. And I can't find it. I'm seeing all these other people with off-site, this bus that takes to a list of off-site rentals, and like, this one's not listed. And I'm going, okay. So I call the number on my reservation, and Lava Car Rentals answers the phone. And I was like, I'm looking for Ad Car. And they go, that doesn't exist. You called lava car. I was like, oh, well, do you have my reservation? They're like, no, we don't know who you are. We don't have your name here. We have nothing. And I was like, trolley strap, Danielle, like, just trust. Something's going to work out. And kid you not, this is something that it just, like, one of the ladies driving one of the cars said, oh, Ad Car is an old one. Now they're called Farah rental cars. And here's the number for Farah. And anyway, I got in my rental car. So I've had to, hang on to that trolley strap a few times. So I would love to hear if you guys have had something happen. Juliet says, of course. Yep. Of course it worked out. But it was one of those moments where I'm like, thank goodness everybody in Iceland speaks English, because I don't know what I would have done if people here didn't speak English. Peg says, good to keep practicing. I found myself listening more intently and honoring the yes that kept coming up. Nice. Yes, saying yes to life. That's kind of what you got to do. And Carol says, I love your stories. Just sharing what life is. I mean, I think we all go through this stuff. It's just now when we put the lens of, okay, the power of intention, that's what we can do. Hey, Shar, good day to you too. Gina says she's having trouble getting on. Those of you on Facebook, like, you're here with me, so I don't know why Gina can't find me. Oh, she found it. Oh, hey. Okay, hi. Glad you're here. All right, anyone want to share any story that's come up with them? I'm kind of been looking at the chat. I know it's a lot to type. While you guys are doing that, I was feeling like we needed to connect between here. And I created a Telegram chat. Thank you, Peg, for helping me figure out Telegram. I don't know if you guys have Telegram. If you use Telegram, I'm going to encourage you to download it. I can post in there, and then on a post, you can actually comment, and we can have conversation on that. So I am going to put the link, let me see if I can now, to the Telegram in the chat. Boom. Yes, I can. So I just put it in the chat over there on Instagram. I'm going to add it to the chat here. Gina says that would be awesome. I'm glad you made it. Jennifer says you like the idea of a separate chat. Good. Yeah. I have it set up so that you guys can comment whenever I post. So it won't be like a stream of things. It'll just be centered on one kind of concept. Because I feel like for book club, we're kind of centered on one concept. So we'll see how it goes. This whole thing is we're learning together. I hope you are enjoying it. I'm certainly enjoying it and loving applying what Wayne is teaching us to life. So the chat group is called Enlightened Minds. And no joke, ChatGPT helped me figure that out. And I was like, hey, ChatGPT, what's a good name for a Telegram channel for our book club? And we went through all these things. Pros and positivity was one of them. I almost went with that one, but I liked, he threw I said it's a he. I don't know if ChatGPT has a gender, but whatever. I think of it as a he. And anyway, the recommendation was something about enlightened something. And I thought, enlightened minds, because we are enlightening our minds. So that's what it is. Let's jump into today, shall we? All right, we did chapter 2, which I read. The way I've been doing this is I'm reading the chapter in full, and then I'm going back kind of more thoughtfully. So I read the whole chapter the first time, and to be honest, I was like, wait, what? I was a little confused. When I came back to it, right, he calls it the 7 faces of intention. When I came back and read it the second time, it kind of sunk in a little bit more. He's basically describing what intention is. What are these connectors connecting to? And if you could describe it, I almost felt like he was describing God. If you were to describe this omnipresent field, this intention, God, this divinity, how would you describe it? And when I looked at that and I sat back at the start of the chapter again, I went, man, I don't even know how I would describe that. That's really hard. And I absolutely love how he flushed out basically what he says are 7 faces, the 7 aspects to intention or to the divine is how I kind of look at it. And the way I took this, tell me if you took it the same way. You said, yeah, same thought. Step out there. I don't know what's your name? Step out there. I don't know what your name is. So tell me your name and then I can refer to you by name. Yeah, so Charlotte agrees. It was describing God. Yeah, right? Super powerful. When I read it that second time, I went, whoa. And it sunk in on a different level. repetition's everything. The other thing that really hit me was everything good and details of each. You can see it in so many ways. Yeah, agreed, Gina. What really hit me was this concept that you can know intention, or you can know the divine, you can know God by connecting with these seven faces. Okay? Yes, Peg says it's Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. Peg says he's definitely describing source. Yeah, whatever the name is for it for each of us. So the way I took this as, okay, this is his explanation of how he consciously looks at it, but he's telling us that when we interact with or bring these aspects into our life and show up in that way with them, we're actually showing up and connecting with source more, connecting with the infinite more. Which with that lens, I think we should dive into the seven faces. So I'm going to jump right to page 24, for those of you that have the physical book. I saw each one as branches of the tree. Ooh, Christy, nice visual. Yeah, it's like, it's one thing, but there are seven aspects. There's seven branches. I like that. That's really good. So the first branch is creativity. And he says, I underlined a little bit from each one, so I'll just kind of kick off the conversation by reading it. He says, the face of creativity intends you toward continued creativity to create and co-create anything that you direct your power of intention toward. Creative energy is a part of you. It originates in the life-giving spirit that intends you. And so I want you to just sit with this for a minute. What he's saying is that spirit created you and gave you will so that you can create all that you desire. Right? You were created by spirit, and spirit said, I'm going to give you will so that you can then hone this creativity and willfully create anything that you desire. So whenever we direct our power of intention, it will grow just like an acorn grows into an oak tree. And when we direct our creativity into things and we connect with source in that way, knowing that we're creative beings and we allow it to flow, so much flows out of us. And I loved when he said it goes from nowhere to now here. Like, it has to be developed in our mind first. We have to desire it, see it, and then willfully create it. Like, we birth it into creation. I have heard some people say that this is the idea of Mary, like giving birth to Jesus. She was able to create, right? Just out of nothing into something. Like, that is what that was representing. Like, this is what this is saying too. Like, you just have the ability to create anything. So I missed some comments as I was just kind of going there. So we do have oneness. Yep. So amazing to accept this creative ability. It is a gift. I don't know, for a long time, has anyone felt like I'm not creative? Like, that was something that I used to like say all the time, like, oh, I'm not creative, like, I'm analytical, I'm left brain, I like numbers, I like science, like, don't make me draw a picture because I can't. I used to very much say that, like, I wasn't creative. Yeah. Oh, nice. Gina's saying that this full book is on YouTube. So after she reads it, she's been listening to it, which that's nice to kind of close your eyes and be able to listen. You kind of integrates in a different way. So what I now know is to not say things like, oh, I'm not creative, because that's ridiculous. Like, that's my ego. That's my mind talking. Christy says ditto. How'd I know that, Christy? You and I are very similar. And yeah, you draw stick figures, right? You got to start somewhere. I remember after my accident, after my brain injury, like, I couldn't do so much. My mind was really like not with me. And someone suggested that I draw. And I remember getting very frustrated with them, being like, I can't. And they said, just pick up something and start to draw. And so I did. I picked up, I don't even remember what it was. And I just started, like, whatever, making shapes and colors, and like stuff came out of me. And I was like, let me never say that again then. Just play with it. There's creativity I always wanted to get. This book club was just a creative idea I had. And I thought, can we all collectively have conversation? Like, I want to connect with people that are thinking this way. Stephanie says, very cool. Thanks for the info about YouTube. Yep. She's going to do it too, so it sticks. So way to go, Gina. Thank you for sharing that. So that's one of the seven faces. So think about that. If we want to connect with source, the infinite, the divine, with intention, do creative things. Be creative. Maybe that's expressive for you in dance. Like, tell me, what are some of the things you guys do to be creative? Like, I think this, for me, this was something I used to struggle with for a long time. So I would love to hear what you guys do to be creative. Nothing? Where's the chat? Guys, where you at? Christy's going, I don't know what I do to be creative. This is what I need help on. Yeah, I started to dance singing. Carol says she sings. That's a creative expression. Nice. Nice. Coloring book, dancing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Another one, dancing. Yeah, like when you just let it kind of flow. Dance like nobody's watching, right? Listening to music for inspiration. Beautiful. Marie says making treats more healthy. Oh, interesting. So she gets inspired and creative in the kitchen, making things more healthy. Salsa lessons. Yes, Juliet. I love it. Nelda. Hey, Nelda. Graphics. Yeah, doing graphics. I know. I get on Canva. Like, Canva is amazing. If you guys haven't played on Canva, like, you go on there and it just like, they've already kind of thought through a lot of things. So you can start with a basic template and then get creative on there. I've felt more inspired because I feel like I have like a blueprint. Some people like to garden. Nice. Jennifer's saying she gardens, she dances. Yeah, I've started gardening too. It's like amazing. Cooking, gardening. I used to be, my boyfriend says I'm very square when it comes to cooking because I would be like, there's a recipe. You need to follow it exactly. And he's like, no, like he's never followed a recipe in his life. Like he's from Cuba. They just like cook. And it's amazing. He just like, he's like, oh, it needs more red. It needs more green. Like he looks at colors. Like it's like amazing to watch him cook. It's like he says the food speaks to him. It's just like this creative flow. Juliet says, I love Canva. Just made a reel with this chapter in mind. Nice. Marie says she gardens too. This is fun to share all of this. Landscaping. There you go, Christy. Nice. Gardening, cooking. Ooh, Peg says jewelry. Paints occasionally. Photography. Yeah. Wonderful. So all ways that we can connect with intention. Isn't that pretty cool? Like when we're doing those things, you feel it, right? You feel more connected in. I know I do. And I think that, our mind tries to stop that sometimes. What are you doing? What's the point of this, right? And just not like, let the creativity be. All right, the next one is kindness. And I just love this, right? You can choose kind. You don't have to be right. Sometimes you can just choose to be kind because that is the better thing to do. And I love that he shared the research that shows, look, when you are kind, it actually boosts things in the recipient who's receiving the kindness, in the person extending the kindness, as well as somebody observing kindness. It actually boosts serotonin in everybody, and I mean, I've seen it, like you see those reels, talking about reels, Juliet, you see these reels of like someone doing something kind for someone else, and it just like makes you so happy, and you can see the happiness in the other, you can see the happiness in the giver. Like, what a beautiful thing. So on days maybe where you're feeling disconnected or you're not feeling creative or whatever, do something kind for someone. Like a simple act of kindness, the ripple effect of that is massive. And I think like what a beautiful face to come back to. Yeah, observing was a nice idea. Yeah, observing the kindness, right? If you need that. So if you need to feel lifted, that's one thing you can do. All right, the third face is the face of love. Oh, before I move on, Gina said, I had someone compliment my hair yesterday and it made me feel so good and appreciated. Yeah, I love complimenting people. In business, I am part of ASEA, network marketing. It's all about relationships. I compliment everybody, like a genuine compliment. And I even, like, when I arrived here in Iceland and I had been you were here at the beginning, you heard me about the shenanigans I was going through with my rental car. When I finally got to the rental car company, the girl that was, like, checking me in, Icelandic people are very stone-faced, okay? You have no idea. Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they angry? Like, there's just no expression. And so I said to the girl, she had super long fingernails. I said, oh my God, I love your nails. And I literally felt her heart soften. And she smiled and she said, thank you. And then our interaction became immediately more pleasant. So compliments are wonderful, as long as they're genuine, right? Not a fake compliment, like a genuine compliment. Kindness is the lesson of the infinity sign, the continuity of energy with others. Oh, I didn't know that, Peg. Oh, interesting. So the continuity of you with everyone else and the kindness that flows between. I like that. Um, the point of the viewer watching kindness was a wow moment for Stephanie. Yeah, me too. I love research, and when like research shows that too, but it makes sense, right? I watch kindness on like a reel. Like I watched some guy just leave a bag of food for a homeless person, and then the video stays on the guy, and you see this homeless gentleman wake up and realize that it's a bag full of food, and the genuine smile, and he looks around like, where'd this come from? And then you know what he does? He takes it and he starts giving out the food in the bag to other homeless people. And it was just like, you can't help but feel good. Like it's just beautiful. Okay, so the face of love. This is interesting. The way he described love, I don't know if you guys caught this. He says it's the quality that encourages, enhances, and supports. When I think of love, like what a beautiful thing. So to be loving is to encourage, it's to enhance someone else, it is to support. And if you're not doing what you love and loving what you do, you are weakening your connection with source. And I think about how many people in society feel like, what's the point? And they feel dull. I mean, I think about that gate agent. Like, she was not inspired about her work. She was not loving what she was doing. You're weakening your connection every time you do it. Like, holy cow. Are you kidding me? And, I also loved what he had to say here about how higher energy converts lower energy. So you think about, like, sometimes I love traveling with Southwest because, just flying's on the mind because I just was giving that example, but like they bring laughter to the mundane and the monotony and the like ridiculousness of all the things that come along with travel, right? If you've ever flown Southwest, you know what I'm talking about, right? They make you smile. They love what they do. And because of that, you feel lifted, like you get on a Southwest flight and it's like a little bit different. With that humor that gets rolled in. And I think like we can all bring that. Marie says, yeah, I love Southwest. Yeah, I like it too for that reason. Cause I'm just like, they love what they do. Like this flight attendant is bringing joy, and it doesn't matter what you do. Anything that you're doing, you bring that into it. And I think, they say your energy shifts the room when you walk in. Right? Like you can choose to shift things. Those ladies that were kind of bickering in front of me and were so angry about stuff, I thought, how can I help them? Because like I could just see them escalating one another. And so at one point I cut in and I said, hey, where are you guys traveling to? And they said, Italy. And so then I just got them talking about Italy, and I was like, oh, I've been there. I've traveled here. Are you going there? What are you looking forward to? Like I was just trying to like help shift the energy. And it's just like bringing a candle into a dark room. Right? It knocks out the darkness. Light knocks out the dark. Love knocks out hate. Love knocks out any low energy. It's just a higher energy brings it there. That's what it's all about. So any thoughts on love or anything else in this little piece that the fact that you're weakening connection if you're not loving what you do, I'm like, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. And it makes sense, after my brain injury, I refused to go back into a 9-to-5 because like I realized tomorrow's not guaranteed. Like most people don't live with that knowing. I know it. Like in my being, my life almost changed completely. I could have lost my life. Like it did change, not almost. It changed completely. I almost lost my life. I can't unknow that. And so I said, I am going to love whatever I do. Because if I'm going to spend today, which could be my last day on earth, doing it, I had better love it. And, for me, it's been ASEA. For me, it's been helping people move through their own stuff in their mind, connecting with people, conversations like this. Like, that's what I do. I love it. Absolutely beautiful. Karen says that hate converts to love when the energy of love is in its presence. Yeah, you cause people to rise up. Stephanie says, true story, this week I found a cell phone on the sidewalk and turned it to a bank nearby, and then I read about kindness and thought maybe the teller felt kindness. Yeah, absolutely. Love is the central theme of all spiritual paths. Yes, indeed. You can also choose to love what you do. Yeah, you absolutely can. Like, it is a choice. You can absolutely love what you do. Bring humor to it. Bring love to it. Bring all those things. The fourth face, okay? The fourth face is the face of beauty. And this is really interesting. I'm going to read. I'm on page 27. Beautiful thoughts build a beautiful soul. Beautiful thoughts build a beautiful soul. As you become receptive to seeing and feeling beauty around you, you're becoming attuned to the creative power of intention within everything in the natural world, including yourself. By choosing to see beauty in everything, even a person who was born into poverty and ignorance will be able to experience the power of intention. Viktor Frankl, I'm reading his book right now. I have lots of books going. And he talks about the ability to see beauty is what gives meaning to life. He's a Holocaust survivor, and it's amazing coming from him. But I think about, I take a gentleman, Gurudev, to the gym every day. Gurudev is 90. Gurudev has spent his life teaching yogic teachings. He found his teacher when he was in his teens, and he's dedicated his life to the spiritual path. And it is amazing to just be in this man's presence and see how he sees the world. Like, we were leaving the gym one day, and he literally stopped dead, like almost walked right into him. And he said, "Do you see this? It's a calendar that has been hanging on the gym door every single day." It has been there. And he goes, "Look how beautiful the dog is." And like the picture on the top of the calendar was like a man hunting, and he had his dog next to him. And his eyes were so bright, and he was just staring and talking about this dog. And I just thought, like, that's it. Like, he sees beauty everywhere. I remember Mickey Singer. I don't know if you guys know Mickey Singer. He's written Untethered Soul, The Surrender Experiment, Temple of the Universe. He founded it in Gainesville. He took Gurudev to a movie, and I remember him telling the story. He said the movie was super gory, and I think it was like a Vietnam movie. It was a ton of fighting, and Mickey the whole time was going, "Oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I brought him to this. Like, what was I thinking? This is so terrible. Like, this is the opposite of what you should be bringing a guru to." And they leave, and Gurudev looks at Mickey and he says, "Did you see how beautiful the trees were in that movie? How the light was hitting them, and they were like this golden color." And Mickey just went, "Holy cow, like, this man sees beauty everywhere that he looks." And I just think, like, such a powerful example. Such a powerful example. So Juliet says the last sentence, "Love is the most powerful and still the most unknown energy of the world." Yes, I agree with that, Juliet. That was a powerful sentence. So guys, choose to see beauty. Choose to see beauty all around you. There is beauty everywhere. Carol says she loves Mickey Singer. Yeah. It's incredible. We're gonna go over time. I just saw the time, and sorry. We'll maybe go 5 minutes over. We'll try to wrap up faster. But the fifth phase is expansion. In life, everything is seeking expansion and further expression. For those of you that garden, you know this, right? When something is planted, it just expands. It just expresses itself. It expresses itself through flowering, right? Through putting out more seeds. And it's absolutely wonderful. I remember reading The Science of Getting Rich. It's one of my favorite books. Wallace Wattles. I've probably read that book, 20 times. And he says, start where you are, do the best you can from where you are, and the rest will unfold. Because if you expand and express where you currently are, it will start to open doors, and things will just happen, and it will just naturally unfold. This is something that you want to look at. So I'm just looking at the chat. Sorry, I missed it. Marie says, this is so cool. It's about gratitude too. I am in another book club and we're reading The Secret to Love, Health, and Money. You can change your health and so many things by being grateful and having love for ourselves and others. Both of these books tie together. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. The expansion, man, guys, intention is just there to help us to expand and create. I mean, it is just so beautiful to know that is what is going to happen and move through you. It's just only going to continue to expand. The sixth face, was unlimited abundance. And I thought, did it hit any of you guys? Like this example that he said, like our programming is so strong that, we were only taught limitations growing up, right? Our programming was, this is where your property line is, right? Yours goes to here. That's it. It's limited. And I thought, wow, like that kind of programming, this is what's mine. This is what I'm allowed. This kind of keeps us small. Like this profound. And one of the things I love about traveling is you get to see the programming in different cultures, and it kind of makes you reflect on your own programming because they look at things vastly differently in other countries. And Karen says, yeah, this is one of our limiting beliefs, that things are limited, and they're not. Like this is an abundant world. And I want you to think about this. Like if I were to ask you, how many seeds are in an apple? I think all of you could tell me. It's a limited number. Like how many seeds are within one apple? I don't have an apple here, but pretend I had an apple in my hand. And I'm asking you, how many seeds are in here? What would you tell me? I don't know. Maybe there's like, how many seeds are in an apple? 6, 7? I have no idea. Not that many. There's a limited number. But then if I were to ask you, how many apples are in one seed? The answer is an abundant number. Because that seed turns into a tree that creates apples that then have seeds that then create more trees that create more apples. I mean, it's like that is abundance. Like that is the divine. That is what all of us have access to. This, how many apples are in a seed? Nature knows nothing but to expand and to express and to have this abundance. Absolutely a phenomenal thing to reflect on and to know that when you're in that energy space, you will only attract in more and more abundance. You look like how many blades of grass are there? An abundant number. There's so much. Like, and we in our minds are so limited, as Karen says. Like these are limiting beliefs that have been put into us, programmed into us from the beginning, mostly to keep us safe, mostly to teach us how to function in society. Shar's saying, yeah, it's a good analogy. The apple is. It is. Like, think about that. How many apples are in a seed? An abundant number. You can't tell me. But you could tell me how many seeds are in one apple. All right, the seventh phase is receptivity. Basically saying, look, be like the sky. Accept it all. Whether there's a hurricane, whether there's fog, whether it's a rainbow, whether it's sunshine, whether it's whatever it is. Be non-judgmental, be totally receptive to everything that is there for us, and judge nothing. All right? He says our job is to reject nothing and to say yes to all. I think he says literally, your job is not to say how, it is just to say yes. Your job is to say yes. The divine is always receptive to all, totally non-judgmental, all loving. It loves everything and everyone the same. And when you are receptive, when you hold that space of receptivity, you are more connected to the divine. This is the hardest of our jobs. I would agree. When I look at this, Peg says, arms open. How many times do we turn people into objects, or do we think of people as other, right? I mean, in the US, Democrats and Republicans, there's like this intense, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but it's not being receptive. It's like the opposite, where we judge what another thinks, or we don't just allow them to be who they are. And this is very hard. It's very divisive. That was the word I was looking for. The world these days is very divisive. And I think we need to just remain open. We need to remain receptive. I think the best analogy is being like the sky. Just the backdrop of all that is, all the weather patterns moving in and out. It is just there. Okay? Yeah, Jennifer says there's a lot of divisions in the world right now. There totally are. There are a lot of things breaking down. Us versus them attitude. Yes, Peg, it is super sad. Yep. Carol says for her, it's not about other people. It's about how life is showing up for her. And she's not receptive to it. Amen. How many times we're like, wait, this isn't what I asked for. Like, I want something different. That's the ego, right? You need to just be receptive. That Chinese proverb, I think I shared this at the beginning of book club about the guy who, his horse runs away and his neighbor says, oh, such bad luck. And the guy says, oh, we'll see. He's just being allowing. Right? And then the horse comes back with another horse. Oh, what great luck. Oh, we'll see. That new horse then bucks his son off. His son breaks his leg. Oh, what bad luck. And the guy says, oh, we'll see. The army comes through recruiting people of the son's age. They can't recruit the son because he has a broken leg. The neighbor says, oh, what good luck. What good fortune. And the guy says, yeah, we'll see. Like, you just have to be receptive to it. Yeah, love the picture of the sky that he wrote about. You don't, what's to say? Don't what that issue brings. I'm not sure what you meant, Char, but you really never know what a situation is going to unfold for you, right? My car accident unfolded so much. We wouldn't be here if that accident hadn't happened. I can guarantee that, so there is good that can come from all. And we just don't know because our little limited minds, we don't have access always to realizing the big picture. We miss it. Yeah. Christy says, I'm very aware that I need to be more receptive, but struggle with what that really means. But I love the idea of accept it all as being receptive. Yeah. What does it really mean to be receptive? It just means saying yes. It just means going, okay, and expressing gratitude. It's the whole concept Peg says of oneness, that we are truly one with all. We are the drop in the ocean, and we are also the ocean. I think, Shar says yes. Okay. I think, Christy, I'm with you. Sometimes it's like, I've been told, like, you have a block to receiving. Someone said that to me one time. And I was like, I have a block to receiving. Okay. And so I'm like, well, what is that? Is that like a worthiness issue? Do I feel worthy of, like, receiving things, or like what? There's receptivity comes in a lot of different ways. When you give, also be able to receive. That's a flow that needs to happen. And I think we all can work on it. So I had big plans to maybe lead us through a meditation because he says to implement these ideas, he gave us like 7 ways to implement. Visualization, being reflective, expecting beauty everywhere you look, meditating on appreciation, banishing doubt. Did I say 7? Sorry. He gave us 5. There are 7 faces. He gave us 5 suggestions. Yeah, Juliet says the allure of intention. There is much allure to it. So, guys, I think we can, if there's more to say, we can jump over to the Telegram chat and have conversation there. I am excited to be able to connect with you all there. What does Peg say here? It says a huge lesson. Judgment truly closes off the valve of receiving. Yeah. Shar says, I need to banish doubt. Gina says, we need to just have a part 2. Yes. Chapter 3, connecting to intention. So our next up is connecting to intention, which I'm sure meditation's got to be part of that. Well, it's a bigger chapter, so let's see. It goes from page 35 to page 59. Okay, 35 to 59. That's what we're going through next. And we'll be back next Monday. I'm flying in. I get home at like 2 a.m. next Monday. So we'll see how I'm doing with book club next week. But I'll be there. Be here. I hope you guys will be too. Guys, feel free to share this with people if you think this conversation would benefit them. I think anyone can jump into book club at any point. These chapters kind of stand alone. They stack on each other, but the conversations are profound. Please tell us how to connect again next week. Oh, same place. If you're on Instagram, come to Instagram. If you're on Facebook, come to Facebook. It's just on my individual page. And so all you need to do is just pop on. It'll say live. I'll be here. And that's all you need to do. So thank you guys for being here. Lots of love. I'm going to put again in both of the chats, the Telegram group. Oops. Instagram, it's not letting me paste, but it's up there. Scroll to the beginning of the chat and you'll see it. I don't know why it's not. It's basically Enlightened Minds 1111 is the link to take you there. Instagram, I'll try one more time. Let me see. Paste. Oh, there it goes. Okay, now you guys got it. All right, so I will see you guys over on Telegram. Lots of love and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, guys.